My parents gave my sister $200,000. They gave me her leftovers. When I was 7 years old, my sister Brooke got a brand new canopy bed with fairy lights for her birthday, and I remember standing in her doorway thinking about how magical mine would look when I turned 9. On my 9th birthday, my dad carried Brooke's old toddler bed into my room with the safety rail still attached, and my mom said I should be grateful because Brooke had loved that bed. That was the year I stopped asking for things. Brooke got a new bike at 10, and I got it at 12 with a rusty chain and a flat tire that my dad said built character to fix. For my 16th birthday, I opened a gift card that said $200 on the front, and my heart almost exploded because that was more than I'd ever gotten for anything. But my mom laughed and said there was only 20 left on it because they'd had to use the rest for Brooke's prom dress. You understand, she said, and I nodded because I always understood. When it came time for college, my parents sat me down and explained that Brooke's tuition had been more expensive than they'd expected, so there wasn't much left in the education fund. But I was smart and I'd figure it out. I took out loans and figured it out. Brooke graduated debt-free and I graduated owing $80,000 that I'm still paying off 10 years later. When I met my boyfriend Jonah 2 years ago, he noticed things I wished he hadn't. He noticed that I cried when his mom gave me a sweater for Christmas with the tag still on it because I'd never owned anything with the tag still on. He noticed that I apologized every time I wanted something at a restaurant, like wanting things was something I needed permission for. He asked me about it once and I made a joke about being low maintenance, but he didn't laugh. Last week, my parents threw Brooke a huge party at a restaurant for her 30th birthday, and at the end of the night, they walked everyone outside to the parking lot where a brand new SUV sat with a giant bow on the hood. Brooke screamed and cried and hugged them while everyone clapped, and I stood in the back smiling because that's what I'd learned to do. My birthday was 6 days later. My parents came over for dinner at our apartment with no card and no wrapped gift, which I told myself was fine because I didn't need anything anyway. Halfway through the meal, my dad reached into his pocket and slid a set of keys across the table toward me. Brooke doesn't need her old car anymore, he said, so we figured you'd want it. My mom beamed at me like she'd just handed me a winning lottery ticket. We know how much you've always loved that car. The car with 142,000 miles on it. The car with the dent in the bumper from when Brooke rear-ended someone in a parking lot. I opened my mouth to say thank you because that's what I always said, but then my mom kept talking. Oh, and we're so excited, she said. We're helping Brooke with a down payment on a house next month. She found the cutest place. Jonah set his fork down slowly. How much is the down payment? My mom looked confused but said it was around $60,000. Jonah nodded and turned to my dad. So, let me make sure I understand this, he said. You paid for Brooke's college. You bought her a car at 16. You bought her another car last week for $50,000. And now you're giving her $60,000 for a house. My dad shifted in his seat and said Jonah didn't understand their family finances. I understand math, Jonah said. That's over $200,000 for one daughter. What did you give your other daughter? A rusty bike? A gift card you'd already spent? $80,000 in student loans she's still paying off while you hand her sister a house? My dad stood up and said Jonah was way out of line, that I had never complained, that I understood how things worked. She understands that you taught her she wasn't worth anything new, Jonah said. You didn't just give Brooke more presents. You gave her a future and told your other daughter to figure it out on her own. He grabbed his keys and looked at my parents. Keep the car. She's done subsidizing her sister's life. 3 months later, Jonah took me to a dealership, and there was a car with a bow on it. Nothing fancy, but the odometer said 11 miles, and my name was the only one on the title.